And right there. And there he stood. Just a bunch of ligaments and bones done ate up all his flesh and muscles. And without any muscles, you're loose. And Jack was loose. And he was still hungry. So he started toward the door. Was going to find him something else to eat when that woman came home. Just flattened Jack up against the wall. I mean, there wasn't much left of him anyways. Well, she came running in with a big bushel basket full of food. She set it down. She said, "Jack, you got a nice fire going." "Jack? What?" And she seen her. And she hauled off and squalled. Well, you would too if you'd have seen him. Well, he came walking back in the best he could, without any muscles, and he dived into those victuals, and he ate them up, and then he looked at her and he said, give me your hand. Give me your hand." That woman said, "I ain't giving you my hand, you old thing, you. You're fixing to eat me." And she took off running around that room. Well, he came after her, and they ran around the room a few times, and she ran out the door, but he followed her. She ran across the field. He was behind her. She ran over the mountains. He pursued her. And since she still had muscles, she could stay just ahead of him. But he was persistent. He wouldn't give up. And so they ran, and they ran, and they ran, and time just began to dry up Jack's old ligaments and bones. And even though she could get out of sight of him, she knowed he was still back there because he had commenced to squeaking as he ran along. Well, they ran, and they ran, and they ran till they came to the edge of the world. It's out there somewhere. The edge of the world. And she couldn't run no further. She stood there high up on the edge of the world. She looked down, way down there below was a bunch of rocks and boulders. Out past that, there was a river flowing by real fast. And out past that, well, there was just a bunch of fog swirling around, which she couldn't see through because nobody knows what's out past the edge of the world. She thought, well, I could get me a run and go, and I could run and jump, and I might make it to whatever there's on the other side of the world. But then again, I might not make it. But, well, I might hit that river, and then I could swim out. But then again, I might drown. And then again, I just might hit those rocks and boulders, and of course that'd be the death of me. But, well, I guess I could just stand here. When she heard coming up behind her. She knows she couldn't stand there. So she got back to get her a run and go. Now let me tell you all something. Where she'd been running day in and day out, exercising those arms, exercising those leg muscles. Woo! Why, the calves of her legs was as big as churn bottoms. She had muscles in her upper arms like basketballs. She took off on running, dust a bowing out behind her brogan shoes. She sailed off to that cliff. Now, she didn't hit what was out yonder on the other side, but she did hit that water. Didn't even use her arms, just paddled her legs like a fish and swam upstream. Now, let me tell you something about that woman. When she came up out of that water, she was a changed woman. She done made up her mind, I don't need me no sorry man to take care of me. I can take care of myself just fine. And that's what she did. Went out and got her a job, worked for her a living, never got her another feller, but was just as content and happy as content and happy can be. But let's get back to Jack. He got up there. And he saw that woman hit that river. He thought, if that woman can do that, I can do that too. And he got back to get him a run and go. But remember, he done ate all his muscles off. He was nothing but dried up ligaments and bones. And he took off, and he jumped. And those old dried bones, whoo, just fell straight down, popped and cracked and scattered all over the place. Now, some folks say that right there was the end of old lazy Jack. But you know, you can stand there at the edge of the world and you can listen. And you can hear a sound. You know, some folks say, yeah, that's the river moving those rocks and boulders around. But the other folks say, oh, no, it ain't. That's old lazy Jack down yonder. And he's still trying to pull himself back together. And if I was you, or you, or you, I wouldn't want to be standing there if he ever does. Because old lazy Jack's going to be mighty hungry. And that's the truth, and that's the end of that there story.